Have you ever walked into a room full of strangers and felt invisible, like no one noticed you? That was exactly how Julian felt every single day. Julian was smart, kind, and ambitious, but there was one thing holding him back: he couldn't talk to people. Not really. Every conversation he tried felt awkward, forced, and pointless. Meetings, parties, networking events, they all felt like traps. He watched others glide through small talk effortlessly, making friends, connections, opportunities, and wondered why it never worked for him. It all started in college. Julian was brilliant, always at the top of his class, but socially, he was invisible. One evening, at a party he reluctantly attended, he sat in the corner, sipping water, trying to disappear. Across the room, a confident woman named Mara noticed him sitting alone. Instead of ignoring him like everyone else, she walked over and said, "I've seen you in Professor Lane's class. How did you solve that impossible problem on Tuesday?" Julian froze. That simple question, small, casual, harmless, opened a door he didn't even know existed. He replied awkwardly at first, but as Mara genuinely listened, he began to relax. They talked for 30 minutes about nothing and everything. And Julian realized something life-changing. Small talk isn't meaningless, it's a bridge. It's how humans connect, build trust, and open doors. That night, Julian went home with a tiny spark of hope. For the next few months, Julian experimented. At first, he stumbled constantly. Nice weather, huh? He tried, only to be met with blank stares. He felt ridiculous. But instead of giving up, he observed. He watched how people moved, how they smiled, how a simple compliment or question could change the energy of a conversation. He noticed that it wasn't about impressing anyone or having clever things to say. It was about curiosity, attention, and kindness. One morning, at the coffee shop near his apartment, he practiced. A barista dropped an espresso cup, and instead of panicking, Julian smiled and said, "That looks like it's challenging your barista skills today." She laughed, relaxed, and started talking about her day. Julian discovered something magical. Small talk could create real moments, even with strangers. The turning point came when Julian got a job interview at a company he had dreamed of working for. He was nervous, terrified, actually. But he remembered Mara's lesson: small talk is a bridge. As he shook hands with the receptionist, he noticed a framed photo of her dog on her desk. "Is that a golden retriever?" he asked. She smiled, eyes lighting up. They talked about pets for 2 minutes. Then, when he met the hiring manager, he complimented the office decor. A small conversation, just a few sentences, but it relaxed the entire room. By the end of the interview, Julian wasn't just a resume, they knew him. They liked him. And he got the job. From that day forward, Julian embraced small talk everywhere. At conferences, he asked simple questions about someone's journey. On the subway, he complimented a stranger's scarf or bag. At family gatherings, he inquired about hobbies and passions. Every tiny conversation became a stepping stone, building connections he never imagined. He started mentoring others too, showing them that mastering small talk isn't about memorizing lines or being extroverted. It's about presence, attentiveness, and genuine curiosity. Years later, Julian was speaking at a large seminar. Hundreds of people filled the room, all nervous about meeting new faces. He looked at the audience and said, "I used to think small talk was pointless, awkward, and boring. I avoided it at all costs. But then I realized the truth. Small talk is the secret gateway to meaningful relationships. Every connection begins with a simple question, a kind observation, or a shared laugh. You don't have to be outgoing, you just have to be interested." He paused, letting it sink in. The small talk you dread, that is your opportunity. That is where doors open. The room erupted in applause, but Julian wasn't thinking about the claps. He thought about every nervous glance he had once given, every awkward pause he had felt, every person he had been too shy to approach. And he realized that small talk had transformed not just his social life, but his career, his confidence, and even his self-worth. It wasn't a trick or a strategy, it was a life skill. And so, Julian left the stage that day with a smile, knowing the secret that many never learn. You don't have to be the loudest in the room, the wittiest, or the boldest. You just have to show up, pay attention, and take a small step towards someone else. Because that small step, that brief conversation, that tiny spark of connection, it can change everything. Remember this: every stranger you meet is a story waiting to unfold, every awkward moment is a chance to grow, and every small conversation is actually a giant step toward mastering life itself. So the next time you feel invisible, shy, or awkward, do what Julian did: look around, notice, ask, smile, and listen. The world is full of doors waiting to open. And all it takes is the courage to start with one simple sentence.